Men's Health Magazine did an article about like top 35 fitness people to follow. And I was on there with like LeBron James, The Rock, like all these guys. Like I was like, what?
Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsor, Inner West Hemp. Be sure to visit them online for all your CBD needs. This is the same company that I use daily, from tinctures to rub-ons to CBD gummies. Some of their products are even USADA approved. Be sure to use the code JAMP for 15% off at checkout. What's up, guys? Today's guest is a professional movement athlete. Please welcome to the JAMCast, Mr. Ryan Klarenbach.
What is up, guys?
Yo, what's up,
Super
dog?
excited to be here, man.
Welcome to the JAMCast, man. And
super excited.
I would be remiss to not say this. Welcome to SAG After.
Yes, dude. Thanks to you, man. That was amazing.
Yeah, we got to wait for the paperwork to officially go through, but we actually just did a job this weekend where you should have been Taft Heart Lead.
Yeah.
Which is super awesome.
Yeah, so I've been trying to get into the stunts for a while, and I've been training, and thanks to you, man, it helped out a lot. I was worried how I was going to make it happen. I was going to make a little short story or thing, but yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Always, it's a crazy thing. Like it's a catch-22 to get into our union, right?
Yeah, it's because it's like you can't do a union job if you're not union. So it's like, how, okay.
Exactly. And then it's like you can only get it if you do background vouchers or if you get tafted on a job. But it's like, how do I even audition for a job if I'm not union?
Yeah, it was process. And it holds you back from a lot of things. I mean, and if you're doing union jobs, I've done a lot of like non-union jobs for my agency. So
totally.
It kind of, you can't do one or the other if you're one or the other. So
yeah, it's crazy. My commercial agent actually tried to get me to do what's called FICOR, or for those that don't know, it's called Financial Core. And that's where you're part of the union, but you actually give up your voting rights and privileges to be able to do non-union stuff.
What?
And that was simply because, as you know from doing commercials, so many commercials now are non-union buyouts.
Yeah.
And so my agent was like, you're missing out on every campaign.
Yeah. There's some good ones. I mean, like I've done some really good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm from Portland. I moved here from Portland. So, didn't have to worry about the SAG or anything like that until I moved down here. And then people were talking about it. I'm like, what is this?
What is SAG?
Yeah. And then once I started getting into stunts and it was like actual, like, we need this.
That's crazy, man. Well, I don't want to jinx it. We got to wait for the paper to go through, but like, congrats, dude. That's a huge step, dog.
Dude,
that's a huge
appreciate
step.
You so much, man.
I always try to help people out when I can, because I had like a very unique start. When I was down here, I kind of told this story to a few other friends that have heard it, but long story short, I went out, drove my friends to a callback that they had. This is within 2 months of me being in LA. And I was just sitting in the waiting room and they popped out and the casting lady was like, who are you? And I was like, oh, I drove them. She's like, come in.
What? That's dope.
I walk out 10 minutes later. I got a call. They're like, yeah, you just got booked on a National Coke commercial. We're going to taft you.
What? Dude,
like,
that's how you got it?
That's how I got tafted 2 months into being in Los Angeles.
So did you know like that you wanted to do that kind of stuff? Like driving them, or was it like...
Yeah, so like, no, that's a good question. Yeah. Like I knew I wanted to get into the business, but I literally had just graduated college and moved back to LA. So I was still like just searching.
Yeah.
Trying to find
Options
what to do.
Open.
I was mostly, to be honest with you, just focusing on training. I was just training at the gym 5 days a week, twice a day.
Yeah.
And then I was slowly going to auditions, but I didn't get that audition because you want to know why?
Why?
They called all white guys.
Oh, you show up and they're like, actually, hold on.
So my friends I drove were all Caucasian free runners.
Wait, did they get it?
So check this out. None of them get it.
Yeah, you got it.
I get it. I show up on set. It's me. It's a Hispanic guy and a South African guy.
Dude, they just totally went like, we're going to switch this up. I know we're looking for something else.
They were like at the board, like white, check. Oh, Asian? Check.
Yeah.
Oh, Hispanic? Check.
Yeah. And your friends are like, you know what? You're never driving me again.
Exactly.
Travis. Okay.
And the funniest and most ironic thing about that a lot of my good friends know is we walked outside and my car had gotten towed from being in a no parking zone in Hollywood.
Dude.
And this was like, dude, just moved to LA, broke as hell, no money in my accounts. My car gets towed. I'm like, oh, that's a couple $100.
Yeah.
And then on the way to walk to the impound, bring, hey, you just got tafted.
That's so sick.
And that was my intro to the union, dog.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, man.
That's
so it's
crazy.
cool for me to be there when other people have their intro to the union as well.
Yeah.
It's like so full circle.
Dude, and the fact that you're able to like actually help people out and give it yourself is really cool. So,
and thank you for even coming out to the job, man.
Dude,
because
it was awesome. Man.
It was crazy,
great.
man. Yeah. And you know what's really funny is that I don't know if you saw him come on to set, but Chris Brown came to visit set.
Yeah,
and I was sitting there, I was like, this fool Ryan could double this dude.
Yeah. Who doubles Chris? I heard it's his cousin, right?
So no, it just depends on what project it is.
Yeah.
even Aaron Toney, who's my owner of Jam, he's doubled him before as well.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we've had him double him. We've had Guy De Silva double him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's not. Okay.
It just kind of floats, here and there. So
he was cool, man. He showed up and he said what up to everybody. He thanked us. He said he saw the film or like what was going on, and he was like super impressed, and that was cool. Yeah,
he's a really cool guy. He always makes a point to ask how my mom is. And
really?
I'm like, that's cool, dude.
That's cool. Yeah. I feel like he's really down to earth, and he's like, I feel like creative people in general really appreciate other people that are creative as well, like in their own sense. And like he does art, he's really good at, he does flips. I've seen him do some, dude, he hit a Webster on a concert.
He can do corks, he can do B twists, he can do gainers. Too? Oh, bro, he can he can do all of these tricks.
He doesn't need anybody double him.
He can dunk a basketball, he can dance, he can sing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's like one of a kind, man. Yeah. And it's really crazy though. He's kind of like a jack of all trades, which is really funny because you kind of fall into that same category. Like before we started the interview, I was like, what do you want me to call you?
Yeah.
And you kind of can't like put yourself in a box because you kind of fill all these different voids.
Yeah.
So before we talk about like, kind of specifically what you consider yourself and what you're doing now, like how did your movement journey start way back in Oregon? Did you play sports first? Or?
All right, check it out. So, okay. So I was born in Spokane, Washington.
Okay. All right.
Spoke-Compton.
Yeah. It's so funny.
But then we moved to Hawaii when I was really young.
No way. Which island? Do you remember?
To Oahu.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I grew up there. Yeah. And, I was always like, I had a lot of energy like growing up. I was always like, you know what I mean? Just all over the place. Yeah. My mom actually got me into sports because I had ADD. I was actually supposed to take Ritalin. Went to the doctor. My mom was like, nah, I don't want any of that. So I got into sports, and it was something that really like focused channeled all like the energy I had. So right away I was into it. I played soccer for like 11 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Basketball. Baseball, I did amateur boxing, I did a little bit of breakdancing. So I was always like into I always want to like learn new things, you know what I mean? Like all over the
quest
place.
For knowledge, I call
it. 100%. And everything intrigued me. But something that a lot of people don't know is like growing up, I almost died from asthma when I was 5. So the transition from Spokane to Oahu, the humidity and the change of atmosphere and everything really messed with me, and I had asthma really bad.
No way.
Before that. So yeah, I almost died. Then I had to carry around like a asthma nebulizer. So it's like a little machine that I had
to help your lungs.
Yeah. So they all told me not to, do anything exercise induced or anything like that. But it was always like something that I was like really into. So it was like, I can let this hold me back.
Yeah.
Or I can use it as fuel. So now I don't have asthma at all anymore. Like I pushed through it. I had tons of attacks, but I was always like, you know what I mean? And once I felt that, then I would just push through it. So anyway, so like sports is kind of like my vice.
And did you have an inhaler growing up throughout the duration of your sports journey?
Yeah, 100%. Wow. I would have to, like in soccer games, I would always have to run to the sideline. My mom would throw me the inhaler and go back out. But so.
That's crazy.
Moved to Oregon. Okay. And then I started working for Nike. I got signed with a talent agency.
Nice.
And started doing fit modeling for Nike. So they made all of their men's apparel to my body measurements, which was really cool. I worked with the designers. I did some of the internal stuff. I was in all of the sales meetings. And I was doing that for like 5 years. And with that, I had to maintain a certain measurement. So they scanned me in like this 3D scanner, and I couldn't be a CM over or under their specs. So that I couldn't go to the gym anymore. So I like for working out, I just did body weight stuff, you know what I mean? So I didn't get mass. So followed a lot of people like Michael Vasquez on Instagram and all that stuff, and I was like, oh, this is sick. This is a new, I wasn't playing sports at the time. I was doing the modeling. So I was like, this is a new like avenue where I can learn and something that motivates me to go out. And
damn. And do you remember how old you are at this age when you started your Nike contract or modeling?
I was like 26. I'm 31.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, so it was great. And then after that, it was just I started learning new techniques, and I was having fun with it. I was throwing backflips in with like Superman push-ups or explosive movements. And after a while, I kind of got bored of Oregon and then moved to LA. And I always knew I wanted to do stunts. Like, okay, I remember the first time I was like, dude, I want to do that. Jet Li, the One?
Yeah, of course.
Dude.
Of course.
That movie, like, that was like the opening where he sweeps the dude and like hits him down. I was like, dude, that would be so sick to like actually do that.
No way.
I didn't really think stunts was like a thing that, you know, I could really pursue. I didn't know how to go about it. But moving down here, I met people who were doing it, and I was like, you know, I really want to do it. And just the fact that you have to learn so many things, you know, like I like to push my limits and I like to learn new things. So it was like something new for me. And it's like playing. I don't know if you have that feeling, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I used to do that like in my bedroom by myself. You
That's
know,
what we say all the time. It's like we grew up playing with like toy guns and stuff.
Dude, yeah.
Now we get paid for it.
Yeah, it's
like,
sick. Yeah, it's really cool. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so that's how it started. And I've always tried to just show people that. So I realize a lot of people, like you said, kind of have like a predisposed like thought that you have to do, like if you're this, you're this, if you're that, you're that. And I wanted to show people like whatever you like to do, you know what I mean, just have fun with it. As long as you're having fun with anything you do, just like don't listen to the background noise, you know, like people are going to tell you to do this or you can't do this because you're doing this. Or so I've always wanted to just have fun, you know. And like
but in the relative scheme of things though, you only started calisthenics like
I say like 3 years, like really like like practicing and stuff.
That's pretty wild, man. Because like I feel like, you know, not to put you in a box, but I feel like a lot of people associate you and your videos and stuff on Instagram with being like a body weight calisthenics expert. And to hear that like you've literally gotten to that place within a few years it speaks volumes about you. So
well, I'm the type of person like my girlfriend knows I'm very like hard-headed, and when I want to learn something, I'm like, you know, I'm like super into it, and I love it. I love learning new things. So calisthenics, there's like mobility, there's, you know, body strength, there's, you can do stability stuff, handstands, all that stuff. So it really tests you like, you know, all around, which I really liked. And I didn't get that from working out in the gym in front of a mirror, you know what I mean? So.
And so for like kids, so before we like show some of your videos and stuff that you do these days, I feel like a lot of people would want to know, like growing up, you said you lifted weights before you couldn't anymore. Did you naturally like build muscle easily your entire life? Or was it something you had to work for? Like, I feel like that's a question a lot of people have when they see the end result. They want to know where you started at.
I say I was always into sports, right? So I was always active. I feel like genetic wise, it was a lot easier for me to like build muscle and stuff like that. And
do you mind me asking what you are? Because you're pretty ambiguous, which is like a great thing in this business, you know?
So my mom is German. My last name is Klarenbach, and my dad's black, so I'm half and half.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, but if you see my mom, a lot of people thought I was adopted because she's like blonde hair, blue eyes. Like,
that's so funny. I have a few homies like that in the business where they see their moms and like, who's that? I'm like, that's his mom.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's two parents.
Yeah,
there's two parents.
Right? It takes two people, okay?
That's so funny, man.
But yeah, man. So, I put in a lot of work. I mean, I train 5 to 7 days a week.
I was going to ask you, besides team sports, how much were you training on your own? Yeah.
Like 5 to 7 days a week. I was always in the gym. And it's something too, like it's got to the point where it's, if I'm having like a bad day or it calms me down, you know what I mean? Like I used to serve in bartend, and I'll be working like double shifts sometimes, and in my little break, instead of chilling, I'd go to the gym, you know, put in work and come back, and it like kind of brought me back down a level. So
that's dope, man.
Yeah. So I put in a lot of work. I think anybody who's trying to get into fitness, like it's really easy to get discouraged, you know, like everybody wants results now. Yes. I'm the same way, you know, like when I'm learning something, I want to like learn it now. And I'd say like the biggest thing is just don't like give up that easy or at all. Like you shouldn't give up at all. Like it takes time. You're going to fail. It's a learning process. You have to learn what works for you, what doesn't.
Yeah.
A lot of people have things where I can be like, hey, Travis, do this exercise. It's really dope. But for you and your body, it might not, you know, you might not react the same way. So you have to kind of listen. I was always open to what other people's training regimens were. And I kind of like took pieces, you know, and figured out what worked for me. And
the best of everything, right?
Yeah.
That's dope, man. And so like when you were lifting weights as a kid, were you always like, you said you were pretty naturally able to build muscle? I built muscle pretty fast. Yeah. Okay. And then did you see a decline in your body mass when you transitioned from the weights to the calisthenics, or do you think that it maintained since you had such a solid structure?
Well, I mean, I felt like I was more toned. For sure.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
I was working a lot of different muscles, like quick twitch muscles, and just different muscles that I wouldn't really use in the gym. So, and all the body weight stuff, you're doing more reps. I felt a lot faster, if that makes sense. Not so sluggish. But yeah, I definitely like the calisthenics and easier on joints depending on like what you're doing. A lot of weights. A lot of people go into the gym without knowing really what they're doing and kind of, so.
And so at this point in your career, do you lift weights at all, or are you still just strictly?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So you now integrate a little bit of both.
Yeah. So I'm working on a fitness app. Okay. I have a lot of people that reach out and ask what exercises I do.
Totally.
And I want to do tutorials. I'm learning a lot of things too. So I think the process of showing people me learning would be really helpful. So I'm trying to work on that. So I've like partnered with a trainer and a nutritionist to help me out with that. So I'm trying that kind of stuff. So
dope. So you have like a whole encompassing thing where you can provide insight to people that DM you all the time.
Yeah.
I know how that goes. Yeah. I'm trying to I have like a copy and pasting I send to people about stunts, but an app would be life changing.
Yeah, for real, right? Yeah.
That'd be so much chiller.
Yeah,
man.
I think if I would have had that, it would have been a lot easier. So I try to think about like what I could have used.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of people see things like, how do I do that? And that there's a disconnect there. You know, they don't know the process. So
yeah, 100%, man. No, those things are super successful. Hey, yo, Connor, really quick, pull up on his video page. Pull up like one of the combos or something like that. You see some of those? Yeah, let's do the second one on that one. Yeah, handstand second one. Yeah, or click the workouts first one. Either one of those. Okay. Yeah. So, question for you, like when you're doing and posting a lot of these videos, people obviously get to see the end result, right? Which is like the thing that you're posting online that gets all this praise and stuff.
Right.
My question for you is, A, how do you come up with the combos? And then B, how many takes does it take?
Okay. All right. Check this out. Right. So my girlfriend actually shot this video for me.
Okay.
So this was like the first time she actually saw what goes into it. So first of all, that took forever.
The 180 handstand.
Yeah. So I have to. I had just learned that, and it's just like literally like I'll go to the gym. You see how open it is? I just used a box for that whole video.
Yep.
But I did a lot of dynamic stuff, so I kind of like I'll go to places and set something up, and I'm like, what can I do from it? And I just learned the scoot like 2 days prior to this, so I was like, I'm going
to feature this.
Yeah. So how do I get into it? So I was like, all right, I'll kip out straight into the scoot, and then
that's crazy.
But yeah, so a lot of this, I would say it depends. If I'm making a long video like that, it takes like 7 to 10 times sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. But like it's like within the course of like an hour or so, or like you land it. Okay.
There's a lot of failing, and then I'll see it and I'm like, nah, I could do it better. You know. So
I was gonna ask you that. Do you ever abandon a mission, or do you always try to complete it? Like,
I won't ever go into something that I know like what I can and I can't do.
Yeah.
But I also like to bridge that and kind of test it, you know. So there's been times where if it's really taxing, so those like handstand into
like crossing.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of energy. So it depends on the energy I have.
Okay.
If I can't get it and I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna screw that and then do something else. But
okay.
What I like about it is, I mean, a lot. It's funny because like on Instagram, people be like on messages like, "Yo, what kind of sport is this?" I'm like, it's not
a sport, dog.
But I just like to have fun. I like to be creative, and I like to like tie in like dope songs that I really like and listen to the beat and make the beat match the movements, and just like to have fun with it.
Hell yeah. And like we're removing the veil here, so like if there's something you can't give away, just tell me.
No worries.
But I had to know like, so when you shoot these things, do you go to the gym for that day, for example? Do you have to go there with the intention to film, or do you like separate from your working out, or do you go work out and then film stuff at the end of your workout? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'll go intention to film. Okay. Like we'll go out, like have like a content day.
Cool.
Maybe my roommate really helps me a lot. He does the same thing as me, and my girlfriend helps me a lot too. So we'll go work out, and then I'll be like, hey, I have this idea. Then I'll show her like this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pop, clap right here, and I'm gonna go over here, and then we'll set up like the shots and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's super cool. And then I guess like a question that I have to ask is because like now you have so many eyes that are on you when you're doing it, and you've put out so many videos that people are impressed with. Do you feel like any sense of pressure to like one up yourself, or has it become more difficult?
All the time. The big thing about Instagram or social media in general is like there's a lot of pressure on yourself.
Totally, dog.
You know what I mean? Like all right, so it's not that important, you know what I mean? But
but it is though.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It is, but it's not, which is like a weird thing. And then you kind of get really invested in the video because it takes time. Like I'll go out there and it takes time, and like I get hurt sometimes. Like, so you really want, you know, to be good and be received well, but then you don't want to get mixed up in like caring about if it's, you know what I mean? So it's like a weird thing, but yeah, I always try to. If I do something, I'm like, dude, what's the next thing? I always feel like I have to do something else. Yeah. And then with learning this, so I started with the sports and fitness modeling, right? Yeah. So like, it's just, they want us to do lunges and sprints and, you know, easy stuff. But then they'll see my Instagram, like, hey, dude, can you throw
on
this?
The shoots?
Yeah. Oh, cool. Dude, that was so dope. But can you do it like 11 more times?
Yeah.
You know, so.
I feel you. That's like what we talk about with some guys' stunt reels. We're like, yo, don't put a lot of car hits and stair falls in there unless you want to be asked to do car hits and stair falls, dog.
That was one thing. When I was making my reel, like I was like, all right, I want to put this. I wanted to open with the stair fall, but then I was like, then I'm going to get asked to do stair falls. So I was really careful about what I'm.
Trust me, you can become the stair guy. Ask Paul Whitecotton.
Really?
I've had him do 3 or 4 stair falls because he just is my stair guy now. Yes, you can get stuck in that hole, dog.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. Yeah, Paul's my stair guy. So. Yeah.
I like Rex, man. It's really weird, but I like doing the falls and all that stuff.
I get a kick out of it too, man. Yeah. I get a kick out of like falling as hard as I can and making people think I died. Yeah. And then getting up and be like, oh, I'm cool. Yeah. And then I'm like, nah, we good. We're good. Yeah. That's the coolest part to me by far.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yo. So you kind of touched on it, like when you're filming those videos, what's the worst thing that's ever gone wrong? And have you ever sustained an injury for the sake of the gram?
Oh, dude, 1,000%. 1,000%. Worst one. So I was trying to do a swing through cork.
Oh, on the floor, just tricking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, copy that.
And I was doing it, and it was cool. I did it a couple times, but I wanted it to be a little bit better. So I was like, all right, of course, one more time, dude. I'm gonna try one more time. And for some reason, have you ever like thrown something you've done like a million times, but for some reason your brain like just like, nah, fam, and you just like kind of freeze mid doing it. You know what I mean?
Bro, I've frozen on a backflip before.
You know what I mean? So my brain just shut down, and I landed on my shoulder out of the cork. And I had an AC separation in my shoulder. So luckily it was like a minor one. It healed in like 2 weeks. But that day, dude, like I went to bed and I literally couldn't move my arm. And I was like, man, I can't even, all the stuff I can't do. I was like, I can't do push-ups. I can't do like, but yeah, so injuries it's scary.
Bro, you have no idea. I was at Jam trying to land a new move with Paul filming me. And I basically jumped, did a 720 spin, and I landed straight on my arm like this. But my head hit the ground. Oh, what? Fully hit the ground like the ultimate dab. And I was praying. I was like, I landed. I was like, oh, that's not good.
Was it on gym floor?
It was at Jam.
Oh, okay.
And it was on a mat. And I was like, I landed. I was like, nah, I know that feeling. I just tore something. Yeah. And sure enough, I went to the doctor. I tore my labrum off the bone. I tore it from 3 to 11. It tore so bad it fell off. Oh, so they had to go in my arm and find it, sew it back together, and then they reattached it with 6 bone anchors. What? And my shoulder dislocated. Dude.
Yeah, you're telling me on set.
So I had shoulder surgery just from trying a stupid trick. And dude, it took me out for 9 months.
Dude, what do you do in that 9 months? I mean, like.
So I'm blessed, bro. Yeah. I'm blessed. So normally you couldn't work during that time, right? I'm luckily that I'm at the point in my career where I'm like fight coordinating and stuff. Yeah. Literally 2 weeks post-surgery, I got the call to go fight coordinate Future Man for Seth Rogen. And, dude, you know, if you have shoulder surgery, you're supposed to be in a sling for like the first 3 months like this. Yeah. I had to work. Yeah. So every day I would just wake up and I would just take my hand into my pocket like this, and I would just set it, and I would walk around on set for 10 hours like this and just pretend I was good. And then at the end of the day, I would go home and just ice and be like, fuck, I can't move my arm.
Nobody knew?
Nobody knew until 3 weeks in when one of the lead doubles goes, yo, we're not throwing any left hooks.
Oh, and you're like, oh, you want me to show you
And I went, all right, I'm going to level with you guys. I had shoulder surgery. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You guys notice why I'm just holding the camera like this? Yeah. It's because I can't move my shoulder. Dude. And everyone's like, no way. That's insane, so I hid it for as long as I could.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, bro.
That's really crazy.
Yeah, but it's crazy. It's cool for, I think, for kids out there to see like someone like yourself, like, it doesn't happen every time. Yeah, like failure is part of the process.
I try to post as I like literally anytime I fail, you know, like I I just save all the videos.
Yeah.
I just do a compilation.
I've seen a couple of them posted.
Yeah. The weird thing about it though is like, you don't want to get hurt, right? It's like, you want to be cool, you want to be safe, but you really want to learn this.
Yeah.
So the only way to learn it is you have to send it.
It's like getting into SAG. It's the catch-22.
I
don't want to get hurt, but I want new tricks, and I can only
100%.
train to get new tricks.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Our life is just hilarious. And I always tell people this, at a certain point, it's a lot better almost. People are scared of getting hurt when they're first starting. I'm almost like, it's easier when you're starting because you learn everything new every session.
Yeah.
Whereas at a certain base level, if you have all your basic moves, to get to the next level of move is incrementally more dangerous. You know,
that's for like where I'm at now. Like for learning everything before, like you just kind of have like, all right, cool, I could do this, but then these kind of have like another level to it, you know.
So you got, once you get the singles, then you got to go for the transitions to link them, and then you got to go for the doubles.
Yeah,
and then we got Japanese kids going for 5.
Right. The craziest thing is like going to jam. Like when I first went there, you know, it's kind of like you see everybody like doing all this crazy stuff, and like being new, it was like, oh shit, okay, he just did a triple, I don't even know what that is. And you know what I mean, just landing like pow. So like but it's cool because like being surrounded with so many people that are so knowledgeable, it's like the best thing ever, because if you're trying to learn, like we're a better place to do that,
100%.
to learn, to be surrounded by those people who can like, and everybody at jams like super helpful. We'll take the time to film you, to show you what, you know, what you're doing wrong, what you can do better. So it's really like the best place ever.
It's so funny because I was going to ask you if you felt any sense of insecurity coming into a gym like this, because I would have to envision like if you're at another gym doing those handstand 180s, normal average humans are like,
oh yeah, 100%.
Shit, what am I doing here?
Yeah. Oh my God. Is this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be in the back riding the bike.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do lunges over here.
Yo, that's so funny.
Yeah. So it's it was interesting because trying to get into like doing stunts, you know what I mean? Like I've been wanting to do it for a while, but then you have like people see me as like a fitness person. So like it's a weird thing to like, you know, be like, no, I actually want to, you know, so you have to bridge that gap. And I also have like a lot of people that follow me for fitness, but also want to transition my page and show more of that kind of stuff. So it's like, you know, it's weird. It's a weird thing.
It is weird. I didn't know for a long time you were trying to get into it until I started to see a little more consistent clips. Yeah. And I started to see you training at jam. And then I just asked a few people. I was like, he's trying to do stunts? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. I didn't know if he was just trying to get content at first. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it was a little bit of both.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Yeah. No, that's cool, man. And here's the thing that it is really cool to me, and part of the reason why I wanted to have you on here is that like we do have a lot of guys here that are professional stuntmen, stunt coordinators. You know, we just had Steve Brown, who's like Avatar 2 fight choreographer.
Dude, Steve's the man.
Yeah, small world that he is. So funny. But like, we have all these guys that have been stunt guys, and you're talking about trying to get into stunts. But what's unique about that I wanted to bring you on to talk about is you are making a living right now not doing stunts. Yeah. And that's what's so cool is that you're actually making a living being yourself. Yeah. And for lack of a better term, like it's kind of a touchy subject for some people to be called an influencer. Yeah. But like in a lot of ways, you very much are. Like you're making a living now off of not only yourself and going out and doing jobs, but you also do brand deals, you know, paid sponsored posts. Yeah. And so how long have you been surviving off of, for lack of a better term, social media or, you know?
Well, it was... so when I first started doing like the social media stuff, it was never like with the intention of like, all right, I'm gonna, you know, I want to do these things. It was something, like I said, like it was just fun for me. I could be creative with it and I could test myself at the same time, you know. And I really enjoyed watching. I would sit on my Instagram and watch like dope videos all day. You know what I mean? Just getting inspired and be like,
we all do it.
Like I need to get out of my bed right now.
Once they introduced the screen time thing, I was like, God damn it.
Yeah, right?
I mean, I'm looking at my phone 7 hours.
Yeah, I've seen it one time. I was like, dude, can you not show me this? I don't need to see this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I first started, and what happened is I moved to LA 2 years ago. I had like 12,000 followers when I moved here.
I was gonna ask you right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so for like scope of things, 12, what year is that?
That was 2017.
2017.
March.
You have 12,000 followers.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I started doing these videos, right? And these videos, a lot of people were like, "What is that?" You know. It was, like I said, it was just for fun. And then Men's Health Magazine did an article about like top 35 fitness people to follow, and I was on there with like LeBron James, The Rock, like all these guys. Like I was like, what? Yeah. So from that, I think I got like 145.
Wow. So you went from
within like 5 days.
So you went plus 100.
And then with that, like, and how yeah. So how that happens, these accounts like Sport Bible,
of course,
all those like
they
Superhuman
repost
Power.
Yeah,
that's really where you start getting like the followers and stuff. But then it's another thing too. So like you see these videos because they're posting the dopest stuff from around the world,
from the best of the best. Yeah.
So if you want to get posted on there, you got to like up your,
of course,
like
you got to get recognized.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I remember one where I was like sketch and my girlfriend was filming me, and the flip like Z challenge, the water.
Yep.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this, but I'm gonna do my hands instead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I did the fountain touch, which was super sketch. She was like, she's like, babe, like, I was like, no, I got this. I practiced.
Like, it's for the gram.
Yeah, just trust me, babe, I got this.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so I mean, like, get inspired and try to inspire other people. So
that's wild though. In the course of one article, it literally transformed your page.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen to a few people in different ways, but I didn't know it was the article. I had another friend named Scott McDonald. I don't know if you follow him. He had just a few followers, and then he got posted on the Instagram account. Like the actual Instagram account. They put a thing of him hand balancing.
Yeah.
Boom, 120K.
Oh, dude. Day. Yeah, it's weird how that happens.
I was like, damn, it's literally
like viral videos, like how it happens. Like, and everybody's trying to get viral videos.
Everyone's trying to get viral.
Like, yeah.
But you at the same time though, like people could see you and go onto your page, but if you have nothing there to offer, people aren't going to choose to follow you. So it's like we say in anything, whether it's stunts, whether it's work or life, you have to be prepared for the opportunity.
Yeah.
And clearly you were,
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's been a crazy transition here in LA. Man.
And so like at this current time, like I'm not going to ask you like monetary numbers and stuff like that, but you're able to make a living right now off of doing deals. Do you still audition and do commercials and stuff too? Or is it mostly just literally deals that you're garnering? And
so I'm with a couple so I just signed with Fabletics, apparel company.
Heck yeah.
For a couple of years, and then I'm with A-Shock Energy. It's an energy drink, so I'm an athlete for them, and then my protein. So they pay me monthly.
Okay.
And from that, I'm like and then I have like different deals here and there, but
pop up once or not.
Yeah. Instagram has really helped out with that a lot, but it's you got to be careful in like what you.
I was gonna ask you.
You know?
Do you feel like my question to you is because for someone so this is my question to you, and I'm just gonna throw it out there. It's like for a lot of people from the outside, they would see what you're doing, what you're achieving, what you're making, and they would wonder, why the hell is he trying to get into stunts? Yeah. Is that purely from a passion perspective, or is it also from a perspective of like you don't know what's gonna happen? No,
it is passion, 100%. Everything I do is I do it because I want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't have I like in my life I've always made decisions on like, don't second guess anything if it's making me happy. If it makes me happy, I'm gonna go for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the only thing I focus on is that like inner happiness, and I really hold on to that. So with stunts, man, like I'm like obsessed. I love it. And I've actually told my agency to stop sending me out on auditions because it was taking time away from my training for stunts. So
that's cool.
I really want to focus on it, and I'm like a sponge, man. I'm trying to like learn everything, but the Instagram helps a lot for sure, and I'm definitely able to pay for things and live life from Instagram. Totally. But you also have to know that it's not something you can count on. You know what I mean? So I'm always trying to make steps, and I feel like I've established myself, especially like fitness world and the modeling, that I have that. But right now, I know my direction.
I think the coolest thing that you talked about right there, which is something a lot of people overlook, which is like personal happiness.
Yeah,
and
it's important, man. Like,
it's so important.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. I just want to, if it makes me happy, that's all I care about.
That's where I'm at in my life. Like a lot of people know that, like, for example, why do I have this place right here? This year I'm just all about like reinvesting in myself and doing things that like serve me. I feel like too many times we're like serving other people. Yeah. We're serving companies and clients and bosses. Yeah. And it's like, you gotta do stuff for yourself.
And you kind of lose yourself a little bit because these companies and stuff will want, they have their image of what they want, and they like what you are, but they want you to ultimately be their image of what they want, and use you, so like, not saying it's in a bad way, but you definitely have to, take a break, and if you need it, and definitely like focus on what makes you happy. And if the two coincide, then whatever. But
it's the best of both worlds, right?
Yeah.
And now I got to ask you this along the lines of like making yourself happy, and this is something I've been wanting to know.
Yeah.
with your position as a movement athlete, and obviously you got all these photos with your shirt off.
Yeah.
Does food make you happy, dog, or how much do you eat?
Food is life, bro. Food is life.
I was gonna ask you, how strict are you on diet, and like, are you able to get away with a lot because of genetics and years of training, or do you have to like be super strict because of your position in this industry?
Oh man,
this is a big one. I feel like everyone wants to know this one.
First of all, okay, everybody, I get this asked all the time on Instagram. I've never told anybody, but I'm 31, right? So, now I've definitely seen like eating. It just affects me. Like now I'm not saying it affects me a lot, but a lot more than it did when I was younger, right? Totally. Even like 5 years ago. Yeah. But I am strict because I have the presence, and I can't just show up on a video being just, a little out of shape. What is this boobies bouncing? Yeah. But
like, fix it in post.
right. So I'm really healthy, but I also really like, my favorite food is not food, but like snack is Gushers.
No way.
Tropical Gushers. I get boxes.
Oh my God. The blue ones, or what color? Yeah. I was going to say, you got a sponsorship, dog? Yeah. Shout out to Gushers. Holler.
But yeah, man, I actually, a couple times a week, I'll eat bad. Yeah.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, I put in work 7 days a week. I'm training all the time. So I'm able to get away with it. I feel like if I wasn't training as much as I do, then I wouldn't be able to get away with it. But I also wonder, like, what if I didn't eat bad? How would I look like?
And I think that transitions into the greatest question, which everyone's going to want to know, which is, at the current time, how many days a week do you train? How long per session, and how many times a day?
It depends. With like the stunt stuff, I've been going to the gym in the morning usually. So I'll go do like body weight. I'll do body weight and weights in the morning, depending on like what I'm doing.
Sometimes, like an hour-ish, or
say like if I'm doing like legs, it's like 2 hours. Okay. Anything else, like an hour.
Okay.
And then from there, I'll usually go to jam around 2 during the week. And then at night, sometimes I'll do miscellaneous stuff. So at least 1 to 2 times a day. Yeah. And then weekends, I'll usually take off a little bit, but it depends.
And are you at that point right now where you've, like a lot of us hit, like, so to speak, I'm out of shape as hell right now, but a lot of other athletes.
I mean, for you.
Yeah, for me. I'm out of shape now, trust me. Yeah. But are you at the point right now where you're able to push through the relative soreness every day, or do you still feel soreness and you have to adapt and adjust each day?
Bro, I got up this morning and I didn't know why my back hurt. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. I'm, especially with the tricking and like movement, I'm so sore all the time. And I'm learning new, like I stretch a lot more, and I have to get like flexibility, but like stretching makes me sore. So yeah, I'm sore all the time.
Okay. So you just push through and train smart.
Push through it. But I've noticed though, like if I'm sore, if I warm up and stretch, it usually goes away.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you like what you do for maintenance, like if you just warm up, cool down, stretch, or if you do anything special. But
I'll usually stretch a little bit before my workouts, and then warm up, and then I stretch after them.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, man. A lot of what you're feeling is probably those tricking and stunt pains,
dude.
Man.
100%.
Yo, check this out. So I've gone to a chiropractor for like years. He sees a lot of the top stunt people in the world. I'll go in there post tricking, and he's like, dude, this is worse than when you got hit by a car doing stunts.
Dude.
And I'm like, what? He's like, bro, your bones are all over the place. He's like, what are you guys doing? Like, everything's twisted. Your hips are jammed in. One's shorter than the other. And I'm like, yeah, we do stuff off one leg. We twist all the time. I'm like, this shit is basically everything you said.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's like, this is worse for you than stunts. I was like,
that's crazy.
No.
I don't even go to like a chiropractor or anything like that, which I should. Or like
you're probably just held together by muscle tension, dog.
Yeah.
You're just lucky. Everything's tight. It's just holding it in place.
Yeah, dude. I'm always sore, man.
Yo, that's crazy, man. That's super, super cool. And so, like, at this point in your life, obviously we touched on it. Like, you want to get into stunts. You're working on the app and all that stuff. But what's like the ultimate goal for you in life? Are you've created this life for yourself where you're not in a box and you're living a life that doesn't have like a plan that a lot of people follow.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to accomplish,
I think the ultimate goal for sure is to make myself happy. So, I mean, I'm constantly finding what that is, I feel like I've definitely found that with what I'm doing now. But ultimate goal is I want to give back to people. I want to be somebody that people look up to and feel like motivate other people to like just live life, man. Just have fun. don't take things too serious. Don't listen to other people that are going to tell you you can't do that. You can't do that. If you have a passion for it, like go for it, you know? Yeah. And I just wanted to just be an inspiration for people. I think that's the ultimate goal. And I want to help others, which is why I'm, you know, doing the app and stuff like that. And yeah, I think that's the main goal for me.
Yeah, I think it's like a super, super cool perspective to be in, you know? And I think a lot of people from the outside are either super jealous of where you're at, or they're like super, I don't know, like envious.
Yeah.
Because not everyone gets to do what you're doing right now.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's just a mindset, man. Like I feel like growing up, like I always had people just telling me like, how can you you're just gonna do fitness? Like you're just gonna do flips, bro.
I feel you. Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't know. There's so many people in the world telling you can't do stuff. I want to be the one person who's like, no matter what, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I'm weird. Like if somebody tells me I can't do something, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dog,
I just for myself. You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy. I mean, like people will tell you. I've had it happen to me in my life. Like even moving to LA, they're like, dude, what are you gonna do in LA?
Yeah.
LA's hard. People suck. Blah 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 blah. If I would have listened to it, I'd still be unhappy. You know, back in Oregon.
Yeah.
But those same people that told me I couldn't do it are now congratulating me and telling me, you know, so it's like you see that and it just shows the perspective of, you can't let other people hold you back.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
I remember being
scary,
dude.
Yeah.
It's super scary.
Even with you probably moved to LA. It's, you know,
when I was in college, I mean, fucking my parents know at this point.
Yeah.
I raged 24/7. Like I was going to school to experience life. I went to UC Santa Barbara, one of the top party schools in the country. I was the president of Sigma Chi fraternity the year before we got kicked off for partying too hard. I went into college with 80 credits. I was almost a junior.
Oh, wow.
So because of that, instead of graduating early, I was like, oh, I got 3 extra years to chill.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna go party.
So I raged it. But like along with that, I'll never forget, like near the junior and senior years of my life, I had a lot of good friends of me looking at me like I was crazy because I wasn't taking final serious. And I told everyone like, I'm gonna move to LA and like I'm gonna do movies.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
so you already knew moving out here. That's what you wanted to do.
I knew I wanted to do this since I was a little kid. Yeah. You know, kind of like you when you saw The One. Like, I knew since like very early on, like this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just didn't necessarily know when or how to do it. You know.
Yeah. So. That's a huge thing. Is like you know the ultimate goal, but you don't really know the way to get there. And there's no actual like set guideline of how to do it.
You can't just Google it and get the perfect answer.
Yeah. Show up here and be there. Yeah. So that's dope. So you're going to school for, what did you say?
I went into school as a business major, ended up switching my major like 3-4 times. And I ended up with theater and dance, minor in English.
Okay.
But more than anything, college for me was just a life experience.
Yeah.
I walked away with the satisfaction knowing that I got a lot of partying out of my system.
Yeah.
So that now I can focus on work. I have a lot of friends who work 9 to 5s and they look forward to Saturdays to drink and to relax. Whereas me, like, every day's dope.
Yeah.
I don't need to like escape my life. It's so cool, man.
Yeah, and that's what it is too. I mean, like when you're doing that stuff, it's just escape. You know, you have to come back and face, you know, reality and get back to it. But if you're always in a state where you're happy, you don't really need it. Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. And so like for like, let's say a random kid that's listening right now, he's living in Seattle or Oregon.
Okay.
He's a little skinny kid and he's looking at your Instagram and he's like, damn, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Do you have any just random tips or advice to get his journey going, or anything that along the way you either regretted or would have done differently to save yourself time?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And here's the thing, we say this a lot, and people are like, I have no regrets. Looking back on my life as I get older, I have a lot of regrets, man. Yeah. And it's crazy to say that.
Yeah. I think my biggest regret, I would say, is not pursuing what I wanted to do earlier, because
I feel you.
I'd wanted to move to LA sooner, like years prior, like I'll say like 4 or 5 years. I thought about it, talked about it, you know.
Yeah.
But I never pulled the trigger. And I feel like that's my biggest regret is I was a little scared to do it, you know, honestly. But then just got to the point where I was like, man, I don't want to be like 80 chilling in a chair, be like, man, I should have went to LA, you know, and tried it. So I feel the biggest thing I'd say is like if you know like deep down inside you want something, don't waste time. Go after it. You know what I mean? And if somebody out there wants to do what I'm doing, I'd say don't hold yourself back, and just put everything you got into it. Just do it. Don't listen to people, and just tell people, if people are concerned with what you're doing, don't worry about it. This is what makes me happy, and just go for it. And if you have questions about anything that I'm doing, just reach out to me, man. I answer my DMs and I get back to people.
Or buy the app.
Or you can buy my app. That's
exactly
dropping soon.
Yeah, and I was going to say just real quick, like obviously when that comes out, like let us know, we'll shout it out. And people should go over there to utilize it as a resource. But let's just say like really quick, from a workout perspective, is there anything that you would suggest for like a brand new beginner to get into, to not be intimidated on, or like a way to jumpstart their fitness journey? Do you suggest like just going to the gym maybe a couple days a week, or maybe starting with push-ups? Like, is there anything you would have for a kid at home?
It depends on what their goal is. Like if you want to be like more mobile, you want to learn movement, it'd be different than if you're trying to learn, or if you want to like build mass and get strong.
Just be a bodybuilder.
Yeah. So first of all, know exactly what you want, which it takes time, but definitely you have to start going in the gym. And I'd say the biggest thing for me is every time I go into anything that I'm doing, I'll go in with, I don't go like right away, try something hard. You know what I mean? Because if you skip all this, if you go from here to here without doing the middle, that's the easiest way to get discouraged, because you can't do this yet, but you're trying. So you can't do it, and it's hard, and you just kind of, it's discouraging. So definitely figure out like what it is you want to do, and just work up slowly to it, but always challenge yourself. If you can't do it right away, for example, a good example is this, the handstand presses.
Yes.
So, all right. So how I did it is I would go to this track by my house, right? There was like this middle school, and they had an awesome track, but they had these like cement filled buckets that held down the nets for the soccer goal.
All right.
So I would use those and practice handstands. So I would do the V-sit, and then I would try to transition.
Hike, bring your feet through the handstand.
And literally, like, I remember the first time I ever went out and tried it, I tried it and I wasn't even close, dude. Like, I was like, what the?
Couldn't kick up?
I was like, what is happening? Yeah. But the next day I went out, I tried it again, to the point where every time I would do it again, I was getting a little bit stronger.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little bit stronger. So don't get discouraged, and just know that it'll take time.
Yeah, progression is key.
Yeah, but also challenge yourself. You always want to challenge your body, because you can do it.
Yeah.
It's just you have to go out there, try it, and then just push yourself,
Okay.
And just the biggest thing is know it takes time. It's not something you're going to get right away. Some people, I mean, depending on who you are, your strength level, your experience, it's going to be a little bit easier, but just take time. Have fun with it. Don't take it serious. Have fun, and just know it's going to take time. There's going to be failure, but embrace it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's super cool, man. I feel like everything that you've given away today is like more than a blessing to kids that are listening. And if they're more interested, hopefully they'll either pursue following you, stay up to date with you so they can get on the app and all kinds of things like that, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of stuff going up, and I'm always gonna keep trying to inspire people.
And do you have like an estimated timeline for when you're trying to do that? Is that 2020, 2021?
Yeah, so it's supposed to. I've been working on it for a year. So,
yes.
It should have been a couple months ago, but I also want to get some other stuff going. I want to also be able to have like bands. I want to have medicine balls and stuff that people
whole branded
use.
everything. Yeah.
So just working on that, and also a logo. I want to have like a T-shirt.
Dope.
It's gonna be Flex. Flex apparel, but yeah, so I'm working on that stuff, but I'd say no, before summer for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So
hell yeah, man. And we'll definitely make sure that people follow up on that. And I
sure,
always tell people to come and sit here. Like if you ever want to come back and use this as a platform, just hit us up.
Oh, definitely, man.
Hopefully this is never the last time we talk,
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you having me on, bro.
Yeah, man. And so this is a question that I always leave our homies with. Some of them have an answer, some don't have an answer, and that's all good. We've been pretty open on everything here. But I asked this because it is with the intention of sitting down with you eventually, and more so just to kind of like inspire kids out there to see like where your head's at. So the $1 million question is always like, where do you see yourself in 5 years from now, if you can at all? And then where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Oh, and that's the face all the homies make.
Oh, God.
You're not the only one. And you know what's crazy is I feel like some people have an answer, and then some people haven't even thought that far ahead because they're so happy at the present.
That's the thing is like I'm very like the type of person that kind of lives in the present. You know what I mean? I make decisions based on what's going on now, but ultimately, I really want to, do stunts for like movies. The Marvel would be sick. It's something that, I really want to do. So that's like a goal for me. As far as 10 years, it would be dope to have my own gym.
Hell yeah.
Definitely thought about that. So that's definitely a step after the training, is be able to actually do one-on-ones with people.
Cool.
Have classes, and I've actually traveled and done some like fitness retreats and stuff like that. So it's definitely something I would like keep doing. But I'd say the biggest thing goal wise is the stunts, man. I'm just trying to do that at the moment, and long term, definitely just get back, man. I love where you're at, where you're like, you're killing it with the stunts, but also now you're doing your own fight scenes where, for other stuntmen and stuff. So that's really cool.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah. No, that's a super cool goal. And it's just so surreal for me to hear that your end goal is to get into the industry that I'm trying to like segue out of eventually.
Yeah, you're like, oh, because
I'm burned out. I'm tired of falling on my head.
Yeah. Right.
It's so funny. I just came from a shoot right now, guys. Look at my shoes in the woods. Yeah.
Exclusive, guys.
I've been trying to hide my shoes. I was just in the dirt for 5 hours filming.
It's in the woods, what I'm saying?
In the woods, man. But it's so cool to see, man. And I think that more than anything, like you shared some invaluable knowledge, but the stuff that really hit home for me is just, personal happiness and just making sure that you always push yourself.
It's important, man. Just, everybody, in life wants to make the right decisions, but you don't always know the right decisions. The only thing that's been right for me is just what's made me happy. So just follow that, don't listen to people. Just do what makes you happy, and that's all that matters.
Hell yeah, dude. I couldn't agree more. I don't even think there's a better thing to say after that. I'm going to let that hang and go, though. Yeah. Real quick before we get out of here, man, I really appreciate you coming down, sitting down. Like I said, if you ever, when your app comes out, let us know. We'll shout it out to the people.
Appreciate it.
And until then, though, if you can you just look into this camera and tell people where to follow you and stay up to your journey so then they can know when the app comes out?
What is up, guys? So you can follow me on Instagram. It's Rhinosaurus Flex. The app will be dropping before the summer, and I definitely share that on my Instagram channel as well. So you can also follow my journey on Instagram, and
Hell yeah, man.
And, also, if you guys ever have questions, I try my best to get back to people in the comments, and sometimes like I'll go through my DMs and like respond to people. So I'm definitely want to hear what you guys have to say, good or bad, and I'll definitely try my best to respond. And all.
What's the backstory behind your Instagram username?
Oh, okay, check this out. So I was like super obsessed with dinosaurs growing up. Okay. So and fitness, obviously. So I was like, my Instagram before was just Ryan Klarenbach.
Yeah.
And I was like, how can I incorporate dinosaurs fitness in my name? So Rhinosaurus Flex.
That's so awesome. Sometimes it's as simple as that, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
As always, guys, please be sure to hit that like button, comment, subscribe for brand new episodes each and every week. Join us every Monday for Jam Breakdowns and every Friday for a brand new JAMCast, interviewing influential members of the movement community like Mr. Ryan Klarenbach himself. So as always, guys, got to give a special shout out to Connor Simon for running the cameras in the Switcher app as always. Got to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Inner West Hemp. Be sure to use the code JAM for 15% off all products. And of course, we got to give a very special thank you to our guest this week, Mr. Ryan Klarenbach.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah, guys. And as always, coming through, I'm your host, Travis Wong. Thanks for joining us here on another JAMCast. Until next time, see you all soon. Peace.